Hey everybody, Life Coach Jessica here. So I want to talk to you guys today about boundaries. I say it like that because boundaries are something that are so crucially necessary for us to be successful in life, yet they are something that most people, or many that I see, do not have a good understanding of, don't know how to implement them, and carry a lot of emotional and sometimes mental baggage around the idea and concept of a boundary. So, what is a boundary? Well, a boundary is basically an invisible line that we have around various parts of ourselves, whether it's the physical boundaries that we have, like how close, what our comfort zone is for how close somebody is, what our financial boundaries are, how much we're willing to, pay for things, or how much we're willing to loan people things. Different boundaries can be emotional boundaries. How much are we willing to emotionally share, emotionally give, emotionally take? We have mental boundaries, we have spiritual boundaries. There are so many different boundaries that support our overall well-being. And when our boundaries are healthy and stable and strong, meaning healthy, meaning they're within a good framework to both support us individually and support our connectability with society, and strong, meaning we know how to assert our boundaries in a way that is proactive, but also considerate and compassionate, but yet assertive enough to make sure they happen. And stable, meaning that our boundaries aren't all over the place. Because the biggest thing with boundaries is it's whether we know we're putting them in place or not, we all have boundaries. Sometimes our boundaries are able to be walked all over. Sometimes our boundaries are so rigid that nobody feels like they have space around us. And sometimes our boundaries are in a really good, healthy place. But the bottom line is, wherever our boundaries are, it's essentially how we're teaching other people that they can or cannot treat us. So if we're frustrated by having just consistently negative, unhealthy, toxic relationships, there's a really, really good chance that a couple things are going on. One is probably most definitely boundaries. The other things can be past traumas, they can be low self-worth and self-esteem. I mean, that's where we start to get into kind of the varied mix of what it can be. But every single time I see that, boundaries is something that we are working on. Because essentially you have to change your expectations and the way you show up to tell others, hey, this is allowed or this is no longer allowed with me. So for that reason, I say make boundaries your best friend. That is what sets us up for success. If we have weak or vulnerable boundaries, we are not going to be as successful. This is true if we're parents. If we have weak and vulnerable boundaries, we're not going to have the consistency we need with our kids, and we're likely to see behavioral, whether it's emotional problems or challenges or whatever it shows up to be within that individual case. We're likely to have more challenges. If we don't have clearly stated, respected, supported boundaries in a relationship, we're more likely to have relationship problems. If we don't have clearly stated or well-defined and supported boundaries, knowing how to assert ourselves, knowing when to be cooperative, those kinds of things in a work environment, then we are likely not meeting our work goals or finding much happiness and fulfillment in those areas. So boundaries are such an essential piece for really happiness, but more so also success. So this quarter I'm focusing a lot on success metrics, which are goals, balance, and boundaries is a really crucial tool that we need to know, we need to have, and we need to make sure we are advocating and supporting so that we can have lasting success. And truly, what better gift can we give to somebody else than saying, hey, this is my reliability. These are my boundaries. You support my boundaries. You understand my boundaries. Then this is the given reliability you have for me. I'm a person that will do A, B, and C. Or, I'm somebody that you can call under X, Y, and Z conditions. So boundaries are a really, really healthy framework for just having productive and positive relationships, not only within ourselves, but with others in our environment. So I hope that you found this video interesting. If so, please like, share, comment, and until next time. Okay, bye everybody.